I'm Brendan Burney.
I'm Marina Matsudaira.
I'm Kit MacArthur.
The goal of the Turf Wars this year is to place as many blocks as possible onto the steps for different point values within 3 minutes. In order to do this, we chose to build a robot that attaches blocks to a conveyor belt with magnets and dumps them down on a ramp onto the highest step possible. We prototyped and tested many different designs to ultimately come to this decision.
Once we learned that we could use magnets, we immediately knew we wanted to use a conveyor belt to maximize the amount of blocks we can pick up in just one trip. Instead of just grabbing 3 or 4 with a claw or shovel and taking multiple trips, we imagined holding up to 16 blocks on the conveyor belt and dumping them all at once in just one longer trip.
We had high hopes and dreams that were soon crushed when we realized how hard it would be to have enough torque for 5 moving parts and to design an assembly on SolidWorks.
After a lot of modifications, we made our robot. Our final design has a smaller conveyor belt that picks up 6 blocks at most and slides them off a ramp onto the first step. We ditched the idea of having a shovel because we realized the robot can simply drive into the blocks and attach, as long as the belt is low enough to the ground. This took a lot of time and effort working on SolidWorks to make sure all the gears would be perfectly aligned and that the belt wouldn't add friction by dragging along the ground.
Our robot weighs in at 2.68 kilograms and has 3.5-inch wheels, 3 motors, and a 3-to-1 gear ratio. The belt is made out of timing belts, 3D printed panels with 6-pound magnets pressure fitted into them, 3D printed pulleys, hex shafts, and 2 aluminum shaft supports to hold it up. We had to use processes like drilling, lathing, laser cutting, heat bending, 3D printing, broaching, and even sewing, and tying fishing lines.
From this project, we learned the importance of nailing down the design for the entire robot early on to prevent problems down the road. For example, we ended up spending too much time on designing a shovel and a flipper, 2 components we ended up not even using, instead of spending more time figuring out the placement of gears and motors and how to actually attach the panels to the belts without glue.